Do you have pets? If you do, have you ever looked into their eyes or heard them make a sound and wondered if they were trying to tell you something? Many pet owners believe their animals are communicating with them in ways we don't fully understand. As humans, we're already working on technology to interpret the words of babies. So, could it be possible to interpret the thoughts and feelings of animals too? Interestingly, throughout history, there have been individuals who claim they can do just that, communicate with animals through telepathy. Today, let's introduce you to one such person and explore this fascinating phenomenon. We're going to talk about animal psychics who have broken the barriers. One of these individuals is Sonya Fitzpatrick, who has the unique ability to communicate with any animal. Born in 1940 in the UK, Sonya had poor hearing as a child and didn't enjoy making friends. She preferred staying at home on the farm, communicating with the animals rather than people. She found it easier because she didn't need to use her hearing. She could simply hear the animals' thoughts. At the time, Sonya thought everyone could sense animals' thoughts, until one day she noticed that a cow on her family's farm wasn't feeling well. The cow told her that it had eaten something bad and its stomach hurt. When she told her parents, they didn't believe her. But after a veterinarian confirmed that the cow had indeed eaten something harmful, her parents began to notice that their daughter might have the ability to communicate with animals. Initially, Sonya could only hear animals' thoughts, not communicate back. But in 1994, after a mysterious encounter, she suddenly became the most famous animal psychic in America, leaving behind numerous legendary stories wherever she went. In July 1994, shortly after her 54th birthday, Sonya dreamed of Saint Francis, a famous ascetic monk from the 13th century who experienced many mysterious phenomena. The current pope took the name Francis in his honor. According to historical records, in September 1224, while praying on Mount Laverna, Francis suddenly developed the stigmata, the wounds that Christ received during crucifixion, a supernatural phenomenon that typically occurs in Christians. Sonya said that in her dream, Saint Francis appeared and taught her how to communicate with animals properly. It turns out that communicating with animals involves using meditation to transform thoughts and feelings into visual messages sent to the animal. For example, if an animal suddenly stops eating, Sonya would first ask the animal why. The animal would then return a visual message, perhaps showing that another animal had taken its favorite food or toy, causing it to be in a bad mood and lose its appetite. Sonya mentioned that these images could be seen, heard, and even felt emotionally. If an animal's unhappiness was due to illness, Sonya would feel the same pain in that part of her body. The key to communicating with animals is to first believe that you can do it. Only then can you succeed. Sonya's journey as an animal psychic wasn't smooth at first. Many people thought she was a fraud, as animals can't talk. So how could anyone confirm what she said was true? But then Mary Clark, a horse breeder, sought her help. Mary had a racehorse named Reckless who suddenly became depressed one day. Mary thought the horse might be sick and called a veterinarian to check, but nothing was found. When she brought in Sonya, Sonya looked into Reckless's eyes, touched his back, and then told Mary that Reckless said his left cheek hurt, as if something was stuck there. After taking an X-ray, Mary was shocked to find that something was indeed lodged in Reckless's left cheek. Sonya has also shared that when she first started, she needed to see the animals in person to communicate with them, and they had to be alive. But one day, a special case came to her. A dedicated cat owner found that her beloved cat, Heidi, had slipped outside while she wasn't paying attention and was tragically hit by a car. Grieving, she wanted to ask Sonya to tell Heidi she was sorry. Since the owner lived far from Sonya, they decided to try communicating through a photograph and a phone call. During the session, Sonya saw an image of a 60-year-old woman holding Heidi and told the owner that Heidi wanted her to know that she had passed from her arms to the woman's. The owner was shocked because her mother, who had passed away at 62, used to care for Heidi. Sonya also told her that Heidi hadn't left her. She still lies on her bed with the other two cats every night, something the owner had sensed but thought she was imagining. Is there any way to prove that humans can communicate with plants and animals across species? In 1966, Cleve Baxter, the former head of the CIA's polygraph department, suddenly discovered that plants might have thoughts. One day, while working in his lab, Baxter had a sudden idea. What would happen if he connected a plant to a polygraph machine? Without hesitating, he took a potted plant from the lab, connected the polygraph machine to one of its leaves, and was shocked to see the plant's electrical activity graph fluctuate wildly, similar to the pattern that appears when someone is about to lie. The machine was picking up that the plant was feeling threatened, but logically, plants shouldn't have feelings. Baxter tried different methods to threaten the plant, but the machine showed no response. 14 minutes later, Baxter had a thought. If he really wanted to threaten the plant, he should use fire. At that exact moment, the polygraph machine displayed abnormal wave patterns again, even though Baxter hadn't done anything. He had only thought about it. This led him to the astonishing conclusion that the plant could read his mind. Baxter's discovery shocked many, leading to numerous attempts to replicate his experiment. Some succeeded, while others failed, leading to criticism that Baxter was a disgrace to science, engaging in pseudo-scientific practices. However, many professional scholars, such as Russian scientist Pushkin and Dr. Hal Puthoff from Stanford Research Institute, publicly supported Baxter, noting that they had reviewed his experimental data and found his research to be rigorous and valuable to humanity. But this isn't the only evidence suggesting that living beings can communicate through telepathy. There are experiments showing that thoughts can affect water as well. When a person thinks negative thoughts or curses at a glass of water, the molecular structure of the water deteriorates, while positive thoughts or words cause the molecules to flourish. Some believe this effect extends to plants too. Perhaps, as the spiritual scientist Emanuel Swedenborg once said, when God created the world, he didn't just create the physical world, he also created the non-physical world. And the soul, telepathy, and similar phenomena belong to this non-physical world. The reason humans struggle to confirm the existence of the non-physical world is that we rely on science, which can only verify the physical world. But if we are looking in the wrong direction, how can we find the evidence we're seeking? What do you think? Have you ever tried communicating with your pets? Do you believe that one day humans will be able to communicate with plants and animals? Feel free to share your thoughts.